Okay, welcome. This is the tutorial for how to do the tile pattern team challenge. This is the tutorial for the first part. Extend the pattern, draw figures 0, 4, and 5, then describe figure 100. Give as much information as you can. What will it look like? How will the tiles be arranged? And how many tiles will it have? So if you have this part, if you're doing this portion, it might be a couple of you on each team. We're going to talk about how do you find all that information, how do you put it in your presentation. So again, this is the sheet that you have. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am doing part B, and I can find that right here where it says B. So I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to go through and explain how you do this top part right here. Now, first of all, go to Google Classroom. You will find a link, and that link will send you to the tile or the pattern tile and dot tool. So I will have a link for you there. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to this spot right here. Click on the link. And the background should already be set for you. You've got a text box tool. You've got a pattern tile tool. You shouldn't need these at all. So on this page, what you're going to do is you're going to, first of all, copy off figures 1, 2, and 3 from your sheet. Then you're going to have to extend the pattern. The directions say draw figures 0, 4, and 5. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to draw figure 1. I'm going to show you how to do it on this one. So first of all, I'm going to take these tile patterns out. Now I am going to pull them out. I'm going to copy off figure 1. So I've got to look at my sheet, and I see that there's 3 on top. Oop. So when I pull these out, you should see this square come up. This allows you to change corner and to do different things. Now I am going to change the colors of these top ones, and I will explain why in a little bit. So I didn't change the color before, so I just right click on it, but you can change the color right away. So if you look at tile pattern B, you've got the sheet 2 in your resource packet. You could see that there's 3 on top, and then there is, well, there's 6 of them, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to take this here. Now you see this box right here. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to pull out on it. Now I'm going to change the color to a different color yet. I'm going to put this in because it puts the grid lines in. So now I've got that little box, and then I'm going to pull out this one. Now watch what happens when I do it this time. If I pull straight across, it's going to give me all 4 of those tiles. I'm going to push this box right here, and look what happens. Now this should look like figure 1. So you can look on B and you should see that's what it looks like. So I just drew figure 1. Now I have to label it. So I'm going to pull the text box out. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm just going to click in the text box. I'm just going to put FIG period space 1. So now I can see this is figure 1. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw figure 2 and 3. I'm going to extend it and draw figure 0. Then I'm going to have 4, and then I'm going to have 5. Now one of the things I did do is I worked ahead, so you won't have to see me draw all of them, and I created this box that looks like this. So here's my figure 0. This is what I created, and what I saw was, well, I figured out. I looked at figure 1, 2, and 3, and I figured out that this box, basically you add a row and take a row away. So if I'm going to figure 0, I have to take these 2 out and this one out, which left me with 1. I saw that every time you went up a figure, you added 1 more to this spot. Oop, this should be here and this should be over here. I moved those earlier. So it should look like this. So when I went to 0, I had to take 1 away. And when I look at this yellow here, I had 3. Then I had 4, so I had 5. Well, if it's 5, 4, 3, there should be 2 here. So that's how I figured out 0, and then I added on to find figures 4 and 5. Now, this right here is what we're going to work on next. This is my color code key, and I want you to create one of these as well. So you find a spot somewhere where you can create this key. So I'm going to go into a different program, and I'm going to show you what that key looks like. So this is what you just saw, and I took a snapshot and I moved it in a notebook. And the reason why I moved it in a notebook is because I wanted to be able to explain, and I wanted to be able to write down stuff. So I couldn't do it in the other program, but I can do it here. So I'm going to grab a pen. I'm going to try and grab a pen anyway. How about we go with green, because green isn't being used. Okay, so how did I get these numbers? You have to create one of these. And you notice I did create the 3 different colors. And you can always go back and change these, because these are the 3 different parts to this figure. Now, did you notice, so this is figure 3, so I chose 3, so I'll underline it down here. So if I go 1, 2, 3, for my gold, and I'll call this gold, did you notice it was the figure number plus 2 more? So that always was the same. It doesn't matter where you are. So if I go back here, did you notice it was figure 3 plus 2 more? Figure 0 was just plus 2. Figure 1 plus 2. Figure 2 plus 2 more. So it was always, the gold was always the figure number plus 2. Now, the yellow is in here. What did we notice about it? So if I go 3 this way and I go 3 this way, did you notice this square was always the figure number plus 1? The figure number plus 1. Now I have it looking like this, and I have these parentheses in here. Because remember, if we have to find the area, what is the area? Well, if it's a square, it's side times side. So I have to take the figure number, which was 3 plus 1, and it's the figure number plus 1, and I have to take this side, so this is one side, and I have to multiply it by this side. So my yellow means it's going to be the figure side plus 1, and it doesn't matter. So if we go back to the original one, let's look at figure 2 right here. So what is it? It's the figure number 2 plus 1, the figure number 2 plus 1. So this works no matter which figure I work with. It doesn't matter if it's figure 0, it's the figure number 0 plus 1. Figure number 0 plus 1. So that's how I came up with this number right here. Now how about the, well, what do you want to call this? A purplish color? This purple color. Well, let's look. This is figure 3. So if I count it 1, 2, 3, it's the figure number 3 plus 3 more. So that's how I have the figure number plus 3, and that's how I came up with that number. So again, if I go back to the original, here's 2, so it's figure number 2 plus 3 more. Here's 4, it's the figure number 4 plus 3 more. So this does not matter which one it is. It always works the same. So that's how you come up. So if I go back to the original one, is it this one? No, it's this one. So that's how I came up with these numbers. So pull a text box over and create this for yourself, because I want to see this key in here. Now, if we go back to the PDF copy, well, I've got a PDF copy, you've got the original. So I just drew figure 0, 4, and 5. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a snapshot of this. Take a screen capture page. And you're going to be creating your own document. So this is the document that I showed you. You're going to go to Google Classroom. You're going to be able to make a copy for yourself. Now these are the first 2 slides I showed you. Make a copy of this slide right here. And it'll say the same thing on top, Tile Pattern Team Challenge. You notice this was the original right here. Only thing I changed is I put a B here. So what I did was go to this page right here. This is my sample. So leave this part right here, delete this, and take a screenshot of your own and put it in here. And so this would be what yours would look like, except you would have your information here. So now the second part of it, then describe figure 100. Give as much information as you can. What will it look like? How will the tiles be arranged? How many tiles will it have? So that's what this figure is right here. So you're going to take a snapshot of this and you're going to put it in there as well. Now I might be looking at this and say, well, Mr. Ratun, that's not figure 100. But I'm going to show you how it applies and how it works. So I'm going to go back to my notebook file and I'm going to come back over here. So this is what you're going to create next. So how did we create that? And that's what I'm going to be going over with you. So first of all, the gold, we call it gold. It's the figure number plus 2. Well, if you want to find a 100th figure, it's the figure number 100. It would be the figure number, which is 100 plus 2. Now, what is 100 plus 2? It's 102. So let's look at this bottom one, this purple one. It's the figure number plus 3. Well, what's the figure number? Well, the figure number is 100 plus 3. What does 100 plus 3 equal? It equals 103. So how did they get this 101 and they squared it? Well, let's go back here. Remember, this is a square. What did they do? How did we get this number up here? We took the figure number, and if you're doing the figure number, it's 100 plus 1, so you have 101. What that means is that from here to here is going to be 101 tiles. Now, this is a square, so let me grab a pen, or let me grab the eraser quick and erase some of this. So when I grab a pen again, so if this is 101, what's going to be my width? Well, let's go back up here. It was the figure number plus 1. So what's the figure number? 100 plus 1 is 101. So that's how they came up with this 101 times the square root, or they squared it. So 102, and I took 101 times 101, and I added 102 and I added 103, and this is the number I came up with. So that's how you're going to come up with the figure number. That's how you're going to figure out how many total tiles it has. So you're going to have to do some math there. You're going to have to get some paper out. You're going to have to be able to calculate this. So let's go back to the presentation. So I created a sample for you. And here I said, then describe figure 100. Give as much information as you can. Well, let's look. This yellow part right here, it was supposed to be the figure number plus 100 by the figure number plus 100. So in your presentation, you're going to tell the class that this is 101 by 101 square. What's the yellow? Well, the yellow is going to be the figure number plus 2, so this would be 102. So this would be 102 tiles long. The purple part down here would be the figure number plus 3, so it's figure 100. So you would tell the class that this would be 103 tiles long. So what did we just do? We described figure 100. We said how much this would be, how large this would be, how long this would be, how long this would be. What will it look like? You basically use this to describe it. So only reason I had this here so I could tell the class that this orange part, or this gold part right here, not orange, would be 102 long. And then the purple part would be 103 long. So that way the class can visualize it. So this isn't figure 100, but now they can more easily figure it out. If you didn't have this, I would backtrack to this and explain to the class on here how long everything would be. So for that first part, you should have at least 2 tiles that have the information on it that describes all of this information right here. So this is the end of the video for extending the pattern. Look for the other videos for the other parts.